don't we all just do that? You know, wait around to figure out what comes next. Not that you're necessarily waiting around. I understand you're engaged in activity most of the time. Now me, I always try to do as little as possible. And this is something that I think about a lot, is what if this is death and not life? I would want to stay home for the most of it. I wouldn't want to venture out there with and the death of it all, with its monsters and gore and decay, which I know are an integral part and reflection of me. I've been around the block enough for my taste. I no longer wish to stand vulnerable and futile somewhere beyond my threshold. If it's only gonna have me wake up to myself, screaming to no one in particular, how is it in this universe of death I find myself alive? I have enough monsters to deal with here at home. My own flesh is sufficient for study. But on the flip side of the coin, okay, being a hermit, like, you can't just be a hermit, like a recluse from everything either. 'Cause that too is indulgent, yeah. Because if you're gonna wanna live impeccably, you're gonna have to take responsibility for yourself and the world in this microcosm of life, death. Because, well, unlike what despair and confusion might tell us, we really do each have something to pioneer in our own unique way. But I'm not saying you can't be completely alone, like you have to be with people. You don't have to be with anybody. As long as you interact with the environment around you. Stop. Is anything moving now? What game are you in? Who makes the rules? Which rules do you break? Listen. Is anything telling you that something's taking too much? Imagine leaning on an old oak tree. What sound does it make? Does it change color when you're lost in thought? Imagine loving a houseplant so much it felt like having a dog whose emotions and states are palpable. It's in the thirst. And it is the thirst that leads us to surrender to the greatest idea that the great mind that thinks itself has ever had. Sit with a houseplant out in the sun. Is this not the same thirst overwhelming you both now? Might this just be all there is to be done? Either to quench that thirst or to give up the ghost. If your posterior is the only thing that touches a rock, let that be the case. Be with the rock. Because often people ask a hermit? What are you? Do you hate people? Are you a misanthrope? I can't, I don't want to. I mean, hatred is no longer something I let myself cultivate for very long. But now I understand not everybody loves me, and I need to love me. I find it's a good starting point, so I keep a distance every time, everywhere. It's that frightened rabbit syndrome, something young quivering inside, like, are we not allowed to both exist and be who we are automatically? Without shame, guilt, judgment, fear. But look, that's not even what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you're fine mostly because you're with yourself, you're with nature, you're home. But, in the months to come or whatever, you might want to start lightening the load a little bit. So, how might you forgive? Here's an idea. How may you offer absolution? Because, and this is my point, because in a time where we reap what we sow, fair exchange is king. We might feel like giving a little bit more like a mother does.